Hello everyone, this is World Exposure. I'm starting to think that NPR gets their news stories from MSNBC. At least that's how their senior NPR executive Ron Schiller made it sound like when he was caught on hidden video during an undercover sting where he thought that he was talking with members of an anti-Semitic Muslim Brotherhood front group who said they wanted to spread the acceptance of Sharia law across the world. I guess that Schiller was able to find time with this group because he found out that they were going to give NPR a $5 million donation. And of course they weren't really members of a Muslim Brotherhood front group at all, but instead members of yet another James O'Keefe undercover sting operation. Now members of this sting operation posing as Muslims met up with this liberal NPR fancy boy at a nice restaurant in Washington DC where they even paid for Schiller's limo to take him there. Now in the video we see NPR's Ron Schiller saying that Republicans are anti-intellectual, Islamophobic, xenophobic, white middle American gun-toting racist. Schiller goes on to say that liberals today might even be more educated, fair, and balanced than conservatives. I think that Schiller also must be getting his news from Bill Maher as well, because he then goes on to say that he is disappointed in America because he thinks that too many Americans are uneducated. He then says that something is defined as liberal because it is intellectual. And this is about the point where Schiller says that NPR would actually be better off in the long run without the federal funding, which is about $90 million a year. Well then I guess this undercover video could actually help NPR become better off in the long run, because I'm now sure that many Republicans in Congress will take his advice and start the defunding process as soon as possible. And right after this hypocrite gets done calling Republicans racist, he then goes on to talk about Jews controlling the media and how many Jewish organizations there are not looking for a fair point of view, but instead for a particular point of view. What if a Republican had said that? Or what if Juan Williams had said that? He then goes on to say that he is proud that NPR fired Juan Williams for what he said. That's funny because his own CEO said that they regretted for having to fire him. Schiller then said that NPR stands for non-racist, non-bigoted, straightforward telling of the news. He says that if a journalist like Juan Williams expresses his or her opinion in the free society, then they can no longer fairly report. He said that Williams was no longer credible and that he broke his basic ethics as a journalist. Well, Mr. Schiller, I don't think telling of the news gets any more straightforward than this video of you being exposed in this sting operation, of you expressing your bigoted opinions in the free society, breaking your credulence and basic ethics as a senior executive of NPR. And speaking of your CEO and regret, thanks to you exposing to the world NPR's true color, your CEO is now cowardly resigned, and the board says that they regret having to accept her resignation. Well, if the board regrets it, then why should they accept it? Do they feel now that she is gone, NPR will no longer be able to have the opportunity to take millions of dollars from an anti-Semitic organization in the name of spreading the acceptance of Sharia law? And what about the video that is now out that shows us firsthand the violent rhetoric by the liberal Common Cause protesters at a rally in Palm Springs saying that Clarence Thomas should be tortured, put back in the fields, and that they should string him and his wife up? One protester even said that they should cut off his toes and feed it to him one by one so that Anita Hill could have justice. They also said that we should string up and kill the president of Fox News, Roger Ailes. These liberals are saying this garbage, and NPR's Ron Schiller says that something is defined as liberal because it is intellectual? This sounds like something that Ron Schiller and his former CEO need to see their psychiatrist about.